Hey everyone, I said I'd do a quick video. It's past midnight here in Ireland, but do a quick video of my free practice for the upcoming RSR F3 League that we're doing 10 rounds of. It starts this Tuesday at 8 o'clock UK time. So the reason I'm doing this video is to do a track preview kind of for and a track guide for other people in the league. I'm currently sitting in P3. The guy who's in P1 is over a second faster than me, so I need you guys to kind of give me some feedback, see where I can improve, because right now I'm really hitting my limit. At the same time, I know the lap is decent. I'll be sharing my setup with other people in the group because I want a good competitive race, and let's dive into it. Let's go into cockpit. This isn't my normal field of view. I normally use my VR headset, so no hate on the FOV. So let's go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it once at full speed. I'm going to do a little bit of track guide while we're going through the lap, and then I'm going to do it again, but we're going to really kind of hone in on the corners and see where you can gain the time. So let's get started. You can see my pedal input in the middle there. You can see the track description. So if you're dropping any comments or whatever, or if you send me any messages, the corner names might be handy. And here's my my overall time. So here comes the best lap that I've done so far. So this is the start finish. The first corner is a little bit blind. What I've actually been doing is pretty much staying in 6th or 5th. I'm on the long gearing and kind of look out for the signs on the left. And you really want to kind of not lose too much momentum. You want to carry a lot of momentum going through that corner. Brake here just at the kind of 200 mark and carry lots of speed through this corner, because this straight is actually essential. Try and keep as straight as possible. There's a little bit of a kink in the crest here, but it's effectively a straight. Aim for the curbs and brake just before just when the grass ends. Carry lots of momentum through here and use that rumble strip on the right. Brake just before the 100 here, and I stay in 4th gear. Try and carry momentum. Here you need to aim for that rumble strip. There's a bit of concrete. That's kind of what I aim for with my right wheel so that I don't mess it up. Aim for the 250 mark here, and again, don't get too wide on this rumble strip because it will slow you down. Here, this is a tricky corner. I have my aero set so that I can kind of take it flat out, and as soon as you see there's kind of a building in the hedge, you need to turn in kind of a little bit faster or a little bit more, because there's a rumble strip on the right and you ideally want to be as close as possible to that. Don't actually think I got that close to it in this lap, but keep an eye for the signs on the right. At the 250 mark, come down to 4th gear. It's very tempting to run off really wide there. It's still a valid lap, but it's unethical. And up to 6th gear here, back down to 5th, past the 100 mark, and really aim for the end of this curb. When you're coming out, you want to power out. So this ended up being let's see the time here. That was a 154.925. Now that was my only 154 lap. As I say, the guys in first place did a 153. So let's go and have a look and really kind of analyze the lap. So we can see my pedal inputs, and we'll just have a look at where I actually brake, if I brake at all. I can't actually think off the top of my head if I do. So I do brake, and it seems to be just before the 100 mark. So you see the 100 mark on the left hand side. So it's probably closer to the 200 mark that I actually brake. Those signs on the left are very difficult to see, so I kind of do it off feeling more than anything. You want to try and go as close to the apex on the right hand side. Feel free to use that rumble strip on the left. Don't go too wide because the same applies. Here you see there's a 200 mark at the side. It's a pretty good indicator. Again, it's very difficult to see. My wheels are almost on the grass here. This is a crucial corner. So I'm down to 4th gear. I actually turn in relatively early because it does widen as you go out. Feel free to use a good bit of the steering. I always find with these that they don't really mind the understeer. It's just when you're coming out of the corner, if you keep the power on, you're going to flick, you're going to get that power through. It's going to be a snap oversteer motion. So get on the power. See how early I got on the power there. I'm not, the corner hasn't even opened up yet, but I can kind of see down the straight. So got on the power really, really early. That definitely saved me some time there. This straight, again, one thing you can do is lower your aero a bit. I recommend, I have a go of my setup. If you don't like it, just raise the rear upper aero a tiny bit. So here, the breaking point that I go for is there's some grass on the right. That's pretty much just before that grass ends. That's where I'm full on the brakes. I come all the way down to third gear, carry lots of momentum through there, get on the power as early as possible and out to that rumble strip. This is actually a super tricky corner. I brake just before the 100 mark. You can see there's a bit of a pumping action on the brake. It's a difficult corner to nail. I got the apex quite well there and got on the power really early. You can see the power come in now, and it's kind of it's a gradual power, because if you go straight on it, you're gonna flick it around. And here, like I said in the fast version of the lap, you want to aim. There's a little bit of concrete on the right hand side. You see the concrete mound? You want to go close to that, but obviously not on it. So you can see here, I'm close to it, but not on it. You don't want to catch too much curb in this car either, because it will punish you. And you want to obviously stay flat through here. Use that rumble strip on the left. Don't go off there, because again, you'll be punished. Around the 250 mark here is where I brake. So you see me coming off the gas onto the brake. And this is a very tricky corner as well. I could have gotten more of the apex there. Now, I have my aero set up so that I can take this fairly flat out. As I said, it's not actually a building. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is that building. Or whatever that is there. That's when I put a little bit more steering angle on and really kind of try to get it to pull into the right hand side. See this grey rumble strip on the right hand side? You want to be on that, because when you're close to that, and you're accelerating, you want the corners already opened up. So the last thing you want to do is be losing momentum by steering. So you want to be almost as pointed down the straight at that point. So really the ideal line, even though it's very difficult, is probably to go super wide and cut back in. That's probably what the really fast people are doing, but I've tried it and it's really, I mean, it works every third or fourth lap, but it's a little bit risky for me. So obviously this straight, you just stay flat out. It's a long enough lap on Road America as well. Kettle bottoms always makes me giggle. So you see the signs on the left. There's a 400 marker, 300 marker, and I brake just before the 200 marker. So it's probably about 250. And hard on the brakes, down to fourth gear, and really try to point it into that apex and power out of it. Now, you can go a lot wider than this, but that's, in my view, that's just about legal. But some people are going wider there, and I've no doubt that it is a little bit quicker. And then here, you think the lap is kind of over, but the last corner is super, super tricky. So what I do is, at around the 200 mark, I prepare myself to get nice and wide out to the left. So getting pretty wide out to the left here, brake in a straight line, and you see the track actually kind of widens. If you really have good car control, you can bring the car out to the left. It'll give you an even better run up the straight. I'm not that good, and you want to catch as much of that apex as possible. And if you see here how early I am on the power, I actually hit the power here. I'm not even in the corner yet, really. So on the power, you see that it's gradual power release as well. Hopefully that helps. You guys can check out my setup in the description below. I'll also put a link to the car and track there if anybody wants to try it who's maybe not in the league. And I'll put a link to the league there for anybody who might want to join. So thanks for watching, guys.